Timothée, is there anything in the current climate that made you choose to play a guy wrestling with drug addiction?
Their addiction is the biggest killer in the United States right now. It's over 50,000 people a year die from this. That's more than automobile crashes, that's more than gun violence, that's more than both of those combined. And a lot of young people go through this, not necessarily methamphetamine. That's what Nick Sheff went through. Things that numb your environment, and that's, I think, the most fascinating thing when you think about addiction in the United States right now is in the 60s or 70s, to my understanding, because I wasn't here. But LSD and marijuana, these were drugs that maybe amplified your surrounding or helped people understand it in a new way. And what you have now with opiates, and I think it's not at all not linked to the whatever climate of disillusion we're in, is they totally numb your surroundings. So you could be in the worst physical setting, you could be in the nicest physical setting, and it's going to give you the same effect. And I know I'm not only speaking from my experience, I can imagine you guys too know people that have been seriously affected by addiction, and there's still like a moral failing around it. And weirdly, I feel like with my people, with people my age, there can be like a glorification of it too, and kind of like a martyrdom, like, yeah, I'm destroying myself. It's my right. And that's really sad. And I feel a real responsibility, not in a fake way or in a facetious way, but that not to be like inspiring, but to point some way forward. And Beautiful Boy, the irony of that movie is it's not like the most uplifting movie in the world, but at least there's a redemptive value in, okay, here's a story that maybe doesn't get honored all the time. And spoilers, but that Nick survives, you know, that he made it through, that there were 4 relapses in the movie. He had 13 in real life. Wow. And now he's 8 years sober. And I guess even what I just said is like misinformation a little bit too, because it's a day at a time, like you never beat it. That's one of the really interesting things in talking to people about the movie. Sometimes people are like, well, why was he addicted? And like, is he gonna be okay? And I kind of go, oh, you didn't really get it, because that's not, the why is purposefully not addressed, because that's not as important as the fact that one is addicted. And secondly, you never really beat it.
It's interesting, I guess you spent time with him and his father.
Yes.
The father wrote this very celebrated book. What surprised you about the two of them?
Nick's book Tweak is a dream for an actor. I shouldn't maybe say it like that, because it was such a treacherous, terrible experience for that family. But Tweak is written in the present tense. It is moment to moment. He's not thinking ahead. He's not thinking what just happened. It's, I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna go do this. I don't have drugs now. I need to get drugs here. And David's is this beautiful, like 360 view of what, how an addiction can affect a parent, a family member, a loved one, a friend, in a way that Nick describes it when he read it. He didn't know how devastating what he was doing was to his family. And I think now what surprises me, because we do Q&As with them, is just like their strength of character, and the possibilities of love. And it's something Greta Gerwig said to me, because we're working on Little Women right now. The most important things in life are cliches, and it is symptomatic of what we're living in. To be cynical or disillusioned, and it can be harder, but it's not like you're gonna make a whole difference, but it's like a little thing. Each time it's a little bit of this, like you can impact a little bit. What people want, or they want like accurate reflections. They want a mirror, basically.
Authenticity.
Yeah. And the demand for content, whether that's Netflix or Hulu or Apple's making stuff. I saw a thing that said AT&T original in the street the other day. Apparently they're making things. So there's so much out there, especially as a young actor. I think your first dream is like, how can I be economically self-sufficient? Like that first time you could pay your check and you didn't do any other job, you're like, what?
That's success right there.
Yeah.
What surprised you most about Fame?
What has surprised me the most is I was rehearsing this play, Prodigal Son, which was in the same space that Mahershala was rehearsing a play at Second Stage. This was 4 or 5 years ago. It's about a young person bursting out of their constraints, and whether because the tickets were too pricey at the theater or something, basically no young people saw it, which is fine. I was happy to be working. But I had this fear. I was like, am I getting into something that's like opera or ballet or something that's becoming an art form that is not as viable or something? And what's been very inspiring about my experience or something is I haven't really worked on a commercial movie yet besides Interstellar. And they're like Call Me by Your Name was like an art house movie. And a lot of young people saw it. And that makes me really hopeful, because it makes me feel like I'm starting a career in something that's viable and that as an art form is viable. So anything beyond that, like, maybe I'll regret saying this, but like, at least for now, I'm like, this is fucking awesome.
I'm Mahershala Ali.
My name is Richard E. Grant.
I'm Chadwick Boseman.
Hi, I'm Timothée Chalamet, and you're watching The Hollywood Reporter.
The Hollywood Reporter Actor Roundtable.
Actors Roundtable.
Actor Roundtable.
On YouTube.
YouTube.